Hello, this is Mary Grace, and welcome back to the podcast. I actually sound like an old, depraved British woman, but the reason why is because I was looking at me statistics, and I see that I have one British listener. God bless the Queen. Gang shit forever. But if I haven't scared you away, me one British listener, I really appreciate you. And hit me up, we could be friends. And maybe one day have tea together. Together forever. But really, I'm super grateful. That made me so happy. I've been smiling all night since I received that information. And I'm just so happy that people continue to listen. I took 2 weeks off. No, not 2 weeks off. Just last week. Because I had some issues with using a computer. Because I was using my cousin's computer at the time. And I finally got my computer. So I'm actually using the new computer that I purchased. So I'm very excited. And I am back. And I'll be on regular schedule till something unforeseen happens. But as of right now, I'm just so happy to be back, and that was a really great thing to come back to. And just everybody that listens and has been listening since the beginning or who have just hopped on now, I'm super grateful for you. I hope you know how much I appreciate it, and I can't wait to get into the episode. So let's start off what has been going on. So I canceled my gym membership. I don't know if I should I'm going to be honest because this is my podcast. It shouldn't make me as happy as it does, but it does. I hate to say it. I'm happy that I'm not paying for the use of the equipment anymore. It just feels good. It just feels good. And it really feels good because I don't have a choice in it. I do actually, but I don't want to risk getting the COVID by going to the gym. I already hate going to the gym. And there's things that I could do at my house, like push old tires around in my backyard, take groceries in and out of the fridge, start fights with my little sister, and that could be like boxing training, but without gloves. And I'd probably lose. And so that's always fun. That's always fun. And honestly, I don't want to pay for something that I'm not even going to lie, I wasn't going to use. Like, COVID was like any glimmer of hope that I had for going back to the gym completely wiped out. So, but I'm going to really try to work out at home. I know I always rail the gym, but I really do want to start working out at home. I bought salad. So that is a good start. Because for me, I can't do one and not the other. As ridiculous as that sounds, you'd be like, hey, you don't even go to the gym. I don't. Like, if I'm working out seriously, I can't eat badly. And if I'm eating badly, I can't work out seriously. Or if I'm eating healthy, I can't not work out. Like, I can't do one. I have to do both. Mentally, I'm an all or nothing type of person. And I feel if I'm not doing both of those, it's not enough. Or I'm only doing one, why do it? Because I'm not doing the other and it's not enough. Which, that may work for some people, but that's how it works for me. So, I have to be completely dedicated, and now that the gyms are closed, I know I can't be fully dedicated, so I'm not dedicated at all, but I'm working on that. So, salads is how I will start. Making my sister sit on my feet and doing sit-ups. Maybe that'll work. And that reminds me, when I was in high school, we would have the fitness test, and it was always crazy numbers. Like, it would be like 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes and like 30 push-ups in 1 minute. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was like that. Like, for me, it was insane. Maybe for other kids that were fit, it was like, oh, I can do that. And I would watch in awe that these kids would actually do that. But I remember when we would have to do the sit-ups, I would tell people, hey, like, you lie for me, I lie for you. And literally the teacher she didn't really care, but she was looking occasionally, but not where she would actually know how many somebody was doing. So I would tell somebody, I'll lie for you, you lie for me. And I would lie for them, but I would lie for them by like 5 maybe or 10. And me, I would do like 10 sit-ups. And the minimum was like 40. And then I would be like, yep, 45. And then the other person would say, yeah, 45 with confidence. And my teacher believed it. And that's what I would do every year. And I never failed gym. And one time, we had to do laps running around the gym. And it was like 50 laps in 5 minutes, which that is impossible. It's impossible. I'm sorry. And at my size and age, I should be like 90 pounds. And I'm nowhere near 90 pounds. So I remember we had to do laps. And it was like 50 laps in 5 minutes. So that's literally 10 laps in a minute. I could probably do a steady 3.5 maybe. If I'm doing my best. And running was never my strong suit. Never was my strong suit. Like if somebody's coming after me, that's it. It's a wrap. So what I did is I would run the laps, and to make it look like I was in a better position, like I ran the lap further, I remember I cut through the middle of the gym to make it look like I did an extra lap. And my teacher, my gym instructor, my gym teacher was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I got lost. And I just acted stupid because I'm good at doing that when I need to. And she believed it. She thought I actually got lost in the gym. And I ended up passing that fitness test. I wish, though, in school that we always had a pool. And we didn't have a pool. So that was something because I think if I would have gotten to swimming early, I could have had like a very sleek body, and maybe, I don't know where I was going with that. Just maybe I wouldn't be like a little marshmallow, because that's what I feel like sometimes. But yeah, and then with swim caps, I remember I said swim caps, that looks like it's great. You know, you just put all your hair in it and you come out of the pool like you do in the movies, you take it off, and then your hair is like a model's hair. I remember I did that. I put on the swim cap, and when I came out, my hair was disgusting. It was all knotted, and it was stuck to my head, like from the top. And I couldn't even get my fingers through it. And I said, why do people do this? Why do people do this? I remember when I was younger, New York City had this park effort to rescue metal. So they took dumpsters and cleaned them out, and they put water in it so kids could swim in it. And me and my sister were extremely interested. My dad found out about it, and we swam in dumpsters for allotted times. So that was my first experience with dumpster diving, like for real dumpster diving. And it was honestly one of the coolest experiences of my life. Who would have thought swimming in a large trash bin would be a highlight of my childhood? But it was. And that reminds me that my sister, she loves makeup and she loves Ulta. So me and my dad told her we'll get her like a black wetsuit and we'll put her in it, and me and my dad can toss her into the Ulta trash bin and she could dig around for what she wants, and then we can pull her out. But she was like really nervous about like how is she going to get out? What if we can't get her out? There's cameras. What if they call the police? Like, I don't know how we would really explain that. There would be no explaining really. It would just happen. And she said, no, why don't you do it? And I said, I don't have any passion for Ulta. Like, if I had a passion for the place, like, I hate to say it, the first thing that comes to my mind is, like, if there was food in there, which is disgusting. But the first thought that came to my mind was, like, oh, if there's good food in there, maybe I'll hop in there. But that's just, like, how my brain works. So that's what automatically went to. But really, I mean, the only way I would dumpster dive, I think it would be a fun story to tell, but I would go in there if my family was in there. If some, close friends were in there, I would go in there. If Tina Turner was performing in the trash, I'm going in there. Because she's one of my favorites of all time. I'm not saying she's trash. I'm just saying, like, to get me in a trash bin, it has to be something that I would really love and enjoy, or care about. And her performing a concert, what's love got to do with it? And you're boom, 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 and then I fall in. But yeah, I mean, those are just some of the things I would hop in there for. Maybe old, music memorabilia or baseball memorabilia. But that's pushing it. That's pushing it. So that's a real life dumpster dive. Real life dumpster dive. We wanted to do it, but my sister said no. But maybe one day, because it does look fun. In a way. You know, I would want to be in a suit where, like, nothing's touching me. But where was I even going with this? I really... Dumpster dive. Let's see. A dumpster dive. A dumpster dive in... Yeah, and if you, like... People are probably, I would never dumpster dive. I mean, but really, like, what's important to you? If something that you love was in that dumpster, or something important to you was in that dumpster, you would go diving in that dumpster. So, like, let me know when you listen to the episode, what would you dumpster dive for? And there's other things. Like, when I think of other things as well, I will bring it up in other podcasts. But, you know, food, if that was realistic, but it's not. Family, friends, Tina Turner, not much else. Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks is in there. I'll go in. Yeah, that's a tough one. I do have to think about that, but those for sure. I mean, I'm rolling up in that dumpster if that's the case. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I have like just a lot of life experience with trash, really. I don't think I mean, my family calls me a human trash can because I eat everything. Like, if there's leftovers, like, you don't even have to ask me twice. But, like, in the middle of the sentence, I'm already eating it. I've only been called, like, white trash by my family, but as a joke. Like, nobody's ever called me actual trash. So that's good. Because that's insulting if it's not by a friend. And even by a friend. If they're serious, then that's wrong. So, I remember in grammar school, me and my best friends would, like, push each other around. And one time, our friend landed in the trash, like, in a cute 90-degree angle. Like, her legs and arms sticking out. She fell in, and we heard footsteps, so we all ran into the stalls. And then the nun came in, because we went to a Catholic grammar school. The nun came in. This was 8th grade, and she goes, "What are you doing in there? That's disgusting." And my friend didn't want to, like, snitch on us, so she said, I don't know. I don't know how I got in here. And we were laughing. We were laughing in those stalls. And then the nun didn't even help her out. She just left her and then walked out. And then we came out and helped her out. But I'm so surprised that she didn't ask any further questions. Like, how would a child not know how they got into a trash can? And I was hyperventilating in the bathroom, so I think she really did not do anything about any of that. Hyperventilating from laughter, though. And I also remember that our principal had a dog, and he would walk around with the dog in his hands, like it was like a cute little brown chihuahua or something. I don't know dog breeds or anything, so it's a guess. But it was like a small little dog, and he would walk around petting it around the school. So I remember that. I remember that. Oh, and also if Elton John or Queen were hanging out by the dumpster, in the dumpster, I would be in there as well. So I just have a lot of things I would go dumpster diving for. But that sounds like, if you take that out of context, it's like, ew, like, what is her life? And if somebody just tunes in now, it's like, what is she talking about? But I would, yes, for a fact, go in a dumpster or dumpster dive for many things, yes. But they're very high quality, rare items or people. So, those are just the cold, hard facts. I was going to say cold, hard facts again. But this is my podcast, and this is my truth. And I'm not going to lie. So, if I think of more, I'll tell you. Carly Simon singing that song. I walked in, and the but it's not and one of them was I had some dreams, there were clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. I love that song. So if she was in there performing that, that would get my attention. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going in. So I also This weekend I had mango con salami, and I've always wanted that, and it was delicious. And if you're not familiar, mango con salami is a Dominican dish, and it is like egg and fried mozzarella and salami, and of course the mango, and then you eat it together, and it's a dream. It is a dream. So I highly recommend. I love Spanish food. I love Spanish food, Italian food, Asian cuisine. But that's literally that's most of it right there. So I mean just food in general, but that was fantastic. I also got my hair dyed. So I got it the red color so I can get my money's worth, because this will fade eventually into orange. So instead of just getting orange and it fades, I'll get red and then it becomes orange. So your girl saves money, because that's always the goal. And if you're not trying to save money in your everyday life, what are you doing? So, but it's different for me because I literally make, like, I don't really get paid in money. I get paid in like items. That's how, no, that sounds like now I'm doing something illegal, but that's false. I was trying not to use the same things that I identify my money as, but I don't get paid much. So I'll just say that. I get paid in like rocks and stuff. Like really, I don't make a lot. So I have to make do so I can have mango, baby. Yeah, so I dyed my hair red, and I love it. It's like shoulder length, and the color is beautiful. It's like a crimson color. And I posted a video on my Instagram of it, so if you want to go look, you can. And I was trying to think of what I can put as my caption. So I wanted to make the caption, it's a lyric from a song by Lana Del Rey called Black Beauty. And the song goes, well, I was also thinking about National Anthem. And National Anthem is, tell me I'm your national anthem. Bow chicka wow wow. Take your body downtown. But then it just like, the downtown part, like I didn't want to put. So it would just be like, tell me I'm your national anthem. But if I had to do that, then I was going to have to put Bow Chicka Wow Wow. And then that's like, if I'm going to put the sound effects, I think that was just a little extra. So I didn't. So I was going to put a line from Black Beauty, which is, and if you could have your way, you'd make the nighttime more today, so it'd suit the mood of your soul. Oh, what can I do? Loving my sparrow blue. Oh, what can I do? But then the problem is that those aren't the words. Like, this is what in my mind, the quote is, but it's not. If you could have your way, you'd make the nighttime more like day to suit the mood of your soul. And those lyrics are so beautiful to me. They honestly make me want to cry, because my interpretation of it is that someone has so much light within them and they have so much inherent goodness that they would even turn a natural darkness into day, because it would reflect who they are and it would represent them and their soul. And it would just be who they are. And that always resonated with me since the beginning, since the first time I've heard it. Because that's the goal, is to have that beauty, that light within always shine. And honestly, I would like to get that tattooed on me. But for now, the letter P will do. But maybe one day. Like, mentally, I'm there. But physically, I don't know if I can handle all of the words. Because last time, I was breathing like, staying alive, nearly doing CPR on myself for the letter P. So, I won't, but maybe if I get destroyed, if I went lit, as the kids would say, like intoxicated, maybe it wouldn't hurt as much, but I just don't have the Like, mentally, I can't do that. I'm like a perfectionist, and I'm a Virgo. So I need to be aware of my surroundings, and I need to know what's going on. Like, I'm just not a person that can do that. But I just wonder in an alternate universe how that would turn out. But my look, I would end up coming out with like a Mr. Softy tattoo. And my dad bet his brother, they were doing something. And this was later in their life too, like in their 20s or 30s. They did a bet, and then whoever lost was going to have to get a Mr. Softy tattoo. And my dad's brother lost, and he didn't get the tattoo. He didn't. Because I know if my dad lost, he would have got the tattoo. But yes, that's what they bet. And that's probably what would end up on my body if I went to get a drunken tattoo. And my caption ended up being, I'm a redhead again, with like a little redheaded boy emoji and like a little like star symbol. So, I mean, I had beautiful poetry that I was going to put there, and I decided not to. Because I do like a little, I do like a little pucker face, and then I stick out my tongue. So it just didn't feel right for those beautiful words, because I stuck my tongue out. If there's like, I have a photo of me looking into a body of water or holding a statue or wearing a formal gown, I think that would be the perfect caption, but it didn't feel right, because I think the tongue would throw everyone off, and then nobody would even really read the caption or delve into it and be like, wow, that's a beautiful caption she put, because I'm sticking my tongue out, like it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the mood of my soul in that post that I put up. Maybe if there was like a small teardrop falling from my eye, that would do. That quote, that would do. But it didn't fit the mood of my soul. It didn't. So just be on the lookout now, so when I post, maybe that will happen soon. But that is definitely in my storage system of my brain. In my files, it's there amongst the important files. Oh, there was a stampede at the Walmart, almost a stampede at the Walmart. So it was me and my dad waiting online, and there was a very long line that was forming, and it was hot out, and this was last week, it was actually hot that day. And we were standing there for like 15 minutes outside of the Walmart, and nobody's doing that anymore. And even if they are, when people come out, you have to let people in. So we were waiting there, and everybody was like calm at first, but then one guy, because they weren't giving us updates or anything. So the guy, like 5 people in front of us, literally busted the door open. Like, he put his hands in between the opening retractable doors, and he just opened it. And then security was like, hey, what are you doing? You can't do that. You don't have the right to do that. That's illegal. And then when he started walking in, everybody started walking in behind him. So it was like a stampede. And it was just that pack mentality is really scary. And then my like dad ran up with them, and I was like in the back of the line still, and he was in there. I was like, Dad. It was like when Simba's father gets taken away by the pack of rhinos or whatever the hell is when he falls into that cavern, and Simba's like, Dad, just losing him. I just lost him in the group, and I was scared I was going to get caught behind the retracting doors, because they were closing them, and then they sent everybody back out. So my dad came out with like a group of like 15 angry people, but they busted in there, man. I thought there was going to be a riot at the Walmart. So that was awesome. Like, it's cool to see that. I'm happy nobody got hurt, but it was cool to see. And everybody was yelling and stuff like that. And my dad was like, hey, it's ridiculous and stuff like that. And he was like starting like a small mob outside of the Walmart. And we were also, when we were in the Walmart, We ended up going to the Walmart. They ended up letting us in, and everybody was like scoffing and stuff like that. And my dad had to get orange juice, and he was like, oh, baby, right behind this woman. And it, like, other people, like, if you saw that from afar or you were next to us, you would be like, there was definitely some kind of assault that happened. And literally, he was just trying to get orange juice. Like, he said that right behind a woman, and it just looked so bad. And he, like, was right behind her and then moved around her to get the orange juice. And it was just, it just looked like a very sketchy situation. So that also happened. And then when we were leaving the Walmart, there was a man performing in the Walmart parking lot. He was like rapping, and he had one guy like hyping him up. And then I like threw up two, like one peace sign and one rock on sign. So I hope he enjoyed that. He brought like a stereo system and like the little arm inflatable tube men that hang out outside of the Metro PCSs and like phone companies. They have them. So he had one of those guys, and they were cheering him on. They were very excited, I must say. Very, very excited. And also there's a club over there called like Area 51. And I know if I went there, I don't think I would get abducted by aliens, but I think I would get abducted by people. People with bad intentions. In other news, I filled you all in on Bathroom Kitty. So let me just explain this, because I don't need people calling Peter or Peter or ASPCA on me, because let me explain, because it sounds awful. The name sounds like I'm incarcerating a kitten. That's not the case. So let me explain Bathroom Kitty here, the story of Bathroom Kitty. She's in heat, and we have boy cats. We have a large bathroom, so we let her out during the day, but at night we keep her in there so she doesn't get pregnant. But she's well taken care of. So when I say Bathroom Kitty, don't be like, oh my God, she's keeping her cat in a bathroom. I'm calling the pet police. Like, you don't do that, because everything's fine. Bathroom Kitty's fine. It's just her fun little stage name. That's all. Like how strippers have names. Like, strippers have, their real names aren't caramel or chocolate pudding or vanilla pudding. Their real names are Samantha or LaToya or Anne or Margaret. There's definitely a stripper that's named Margaret out there somewhere. Okay? So, and they just have fun little stage names. There's nothing wrong. They just have fun little stage names. So that's what her name is. It's one of her, it's like her nickname. Because that's also inhumane to call a cat after, and name a cat after like a house, a section of a house. Like closet person or basement person. See, that's wrong. It's wrong. So applying that to a cat, it's wrong. But Bathroom Kitty sounds cute and funny. Like if you put it on a small t-shirt and put it on her, it would be very cute. So that's not her name. Because then I would also suspect too, there was wrongdoing. If just a cat's name was a name of an area of your house and then the cat's name after. So her real name is Splitty, but she also has another name, so she has 3 names. My sister's trying to call her Mittens or something like that, and we can't because we already call her Split. And then she has her Russian name, which is Eva Seronovek. She's like a Russian spy who's in our bathroom. So she has multiple names, so I just don't think adding Mittens or Socks to the list would be a good idea. So back to what I was saying. So now you know what the deal is with Bathroom Kitty. And if you have questions, you can just ask me. Because I'm not hiding anything. Now that whenever I say like I'm hiding something, it sounds like I'm hiding something. Very cult-like, but I'm not. This is my truth. It's not always pleasant. It's not always laughable, but this is my truth. And I told you I'm not going to lie to you on my podcast. So back to the whole story. I explained the origin of Bathroom Kitty, and I was going to say hi to Bathroom Kitty. And you know how kittens, like cats in general, they play and they'll like just swat you with their paws, but they usually don't put out their claws because they're playing with you. But Bathroom Kitty is very, ever since she was a little baby kitten, she was very like skitsy, like very, like you just don't know what to expect. And I don't know if that's the correct word I'm looking for. Let me see if that's a word, because I'm not trying to be canceled on my own podcast. But let me just see. Skitsy. Or am I just making this up? Oh, no. No, that means schizophrenic. I don't mean that. Wow, I didn't know that was even a term. Not that. I take it back. That's not what I meant. But I definitely mean fritzy. Fritzy word. What is fritzy? Oh, no. It means to fix a laptop or something. The word I'm thinking of is very... There was a Z in it. Very, not flimsy, and that has an S, but it should be a Z. Very sporadic, that's what it was, not skitsy. Sporadic. It has that's what it was for me. It wasn't the Z, it was the S I was looking for, sporadic. So, like scattered, she's very scattered. And not in a bad way, it's just certain cats, like she's very, like a nervous kind, but a playful nervous, a nervous playful. So I go in there, and I'm like, hey, Bathroom Kitty, and I was just playing with her, and like I said, cats, they'll swat at you without their claws because they're just playing. And she's also just playing, or maybe she isn't, maybe there's some malice there, which I don't understand because we're friends. But I went to give her a high five because I thought, it's cute when cats do that, when they give you like a little high five. And she went for the high five, but she swatted at me, and I didn't know. I thought it was just her toe beans that were going to hit my palm. And she literally got like her claws stuck in my hand, like 'cause she was swatting. So that's what, you just never know what to expect with Bathroom Kitty. You never know. And one time I got scratched in the vagina by a cat. I was just sitting on my couch, and somebody was on their phone, and the reflection of the phone was on the wall. So the cat ran, and I guess he was running, or she was running with their claws. And she was excited and ran right onto my vagina and scratched my vagina. And then I was like, ow, my vagina. And my grandfather was like, hey, what's wrong with you? Because, just like, their generation was like, don't curse. And he thought it was funny, though. Because usually expletives and profanity didn't make him laugh. He would just say, use soap on your mouth, but not like to actually use it like as a joke, and like don't have a trucker's mouth. Yeah, but he actually laughed, even though I said an expletive, because that is just not his type of humor. It's not his comedy, but he loved it, and that makes me laugh. That makes me happy. And everybody seemed to laugh and have a good time with that. Everybody thought that was pretty funny. Not me, not I. And you have too many cats when you end up getting scratched in your vagina. So, like I said, that may have been too much for you. I'm not sorry because this is my podcast, and now you know what to expect. If you had a bar, the bar just keeps getting set higher or maybe lower. My standards may be different from yours. But I'm just telling you, I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't say, let me fabricate this and tell them I got scratched in the vagina. I'm telling you because it happened. And it can happen. So if you have cats, you just have to be careful. And things like this happen. Maybe it's not a story you hear, but just because you don't hear it doesn't mean it's not important. And it doesn't hurt. And it doesn't stay with you probably for the rest of your life. That will stay with me. So moving on. We also went to get Travis Scott meals. I mentioned that I wanted to get it. I didn't love it because I'm not a pickles and onions person, and McDonald's burger, it's like that's definitely not real meat. That's like random shit that they find and then they're putting that in a burger. And I'm just telling you flat out what it is, because how come no other meat tastes like that? No other meat tastes like that. It's literally like in the movies when they put like a sack of potatoes and they draw like a little face on it and put a wig on it and that's a person. That's what like a McDonald's burger is. It's like they disguise it as a burger, but that's not really a burger under all that. It's not. And it was there were pickles and onions and ketchup, and that was just like a no. And then like lettuce. It was just not. My favorite part was the bacon, and that's really all I liked. And I felt sick after, because I don't eat McDonald's like that. Even though I just literally said that I had McDonald's pancakes, I think my last episode. But their breakfast is different. But I barely have that too because they're expensive. Why am I going to pay $6 for 3 pancakes? And they're silver dollar pancakes. I could buy them from the dollar store. But it's just more convenient. So, yeah, so we went to get the burgers, and my dad goes up to the window, and I was going to play the music. Because I said that this is perfect. This is the only time I'm going to buy the Travis Scott meal. And I was going to play the music, and everything was all fun and games until he told them he wanted the burger. And they said, no, we don't do that deal anymore. Because regularly priced is like $9 or something, like $10, $12, I think, for the meal. And that's highway robbery. And my dad's like, what do you mean? And he was starving. And also Sopranos, when we're hungry, like, we're very, like, short-circuited. Like, I can control it well. But if I were to stub my toe or something, like, I'm gonna spaz out. I'm gonna spaz. And it usually doesn't happen because I usually come prepared on a full belly and stuff like that. But he was already upset, and this woman was like, she was really like playing with him too. Like, my dad was like, yeah, well, on TV it says you guys have it till this date. And she's like, no. And then he's like, yeah. And she's like, no, sir. And he was like, yeah, I just saw it like yesterday. You guys have it, the deal to the 14th. No, only online. So he's like, do I need a coupon or something? Hello? What? Do I need a coupon? Yes, sir. How do I get the coupon? The app, sir. The app. What do I do? What do I have to do on the? Can I speak to the manager? And then the manager comes through the telecommunication system, and I was just sitting there like, this is all fun and games. Like, I was gonna play the Travis Scott music and everything, and he's literally him and this woman are getting into a whole war of words over the Travis Scott meal. And the manager just says, go online, you have to do it through the app, and then they only let you get one per phone every hour or something. Like, what if you have a family? It's just like really upsetting how they set that up, because you wouldn't be able to get the deal for a family. So it's sad. And then when we went back, I made sure I ordered because I didn't want the lady to like spit in our food. And he wouldn't have got all worked up if she would just answer the question. She wouldn't answer his questions, and she was taking like 30 minutes to respond. Like, she just didn't want to hear it anymore. So that was a sight for sore eyes. Yeah, and I didn't even like the burger. It was like, and now they have like a J Balvin meal. Like, it was cool when it was just like one person having a meal. Now it's like, oh, they're going to make a meal for everybody now. And honestly, there's nothing special about it. They're just saying, hey, this is a McDonald's burger and we're naming it after this person. So it makes you think it's gonna be more delicious because you like it's lit. You like that, so you think maybe your burger will taste like that. It won't. It won't. And I doubt the J Balvin burger is gonna taste like if it tastes like that, then I'll try it, but it's not gonna taste like that. So that happened. And then there was a whole screw up with Dancing with the Stars. I watched that. And I wonder what the demographics are for that show. I'm going to say mostly white people. And maybe I'm going to say white people from like 30 to 55 years old, mostly women. Let me see if I could see Dancing with the Stars demographics here. Dancing with the Stars demographics. Oh, let's see. Okay. Aging reality show. Oh, this is 2014. See right here. This is exactly what I said. Dancing with the Stars viewers are mostly women and old people. I just said that. Older women. But I don't care. I love it. I love watching people dance. I love people finding joy through dance. I love that form of self-expression. I love to sing. I love to dance. Am I great at it? I'm going to say yes, but other people will disagree. They will. They will highly disagree. But I love it. I feel so free, and then watching other people do it, and it, especially people that are like novice people doing it, like beginners, that gives me hope that maybe one day I can be that good. And you can, if you really work at it. Your body may be shaped differently than others, but it doesn't mean you can't dance if you really give it your all. And you see it. If some 50-year-old bag can do it, I can do it. If somebody, if Sean Spicer can do it, I can do it. So I love that show. I love it. It's beautiful. Sometimes I cry. I literally cried last week. When friggin' Sky Jackson was talking about Cameron Boyce and how he passed away and how the dance was dedicated to him, and she has him on her phone case, I wept. And I'm almost going to weep right now because it was just so sad, but I'm just going to gather myself because that's not even what I wanted to talk about. Tears are going into my microphone right now. So, and what I love is Tyra Banks is just like the show, they barely have time at the end of the show because Tyra Banks asks a bunch of questions. Like that was never the case with Eric Bergeron and Erin Andrews. They would just be like, and here's Kelsey and Mark coming down the steps, and then that's it. And then they wouldn't ask questions. And Tyra Banks has a million questions, and she does like 30 clothes changes of clothes. It's fantastic. She's like such a diva. And she just takes her time, and it's like the Tyra Banks show. So because she asks all these questions, the show runs short every week. And then last week, she announced two people. She announced somebody that was safe, and then she announced the bottom two. And then she said, no, the person I said was safe is actually in the bottom two. And people were railing her and stuff like that. And then she said it was a technical issue. So I don't know how much I believe that. If it was a technical issue, you can blame the technical people. But if it wasn't, just take responsibility. But maybe it was. I don't know. I'm not going to choose sides here. But I could just see that if it were her flub, I could see her saying, no, it wasn't. But also they might want her to do that. So I like Tyra Banks. I think she's good on that show. I just think maybe they should have, kept all three of them. I think it would have worked. But so back to what I was saying, she has all these questions and stuff like that, which is fantastic. And she will literally say things like, oh, come here, sweetheart. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color, sweetheart? And then she'll do like voguing motions in the back. So that's amazing. And yeah, people were ripping her online. An accident is an accident, regardless if it's the technical side or it's her side. It's an accident, it's an accident. It just doesn't look great because she just started. But Oh, and then another thing that happened. It's been a pretty action packed, few weeks, and I'm so sad I couldn't, produce an episode. But I'm going to try. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna make it a little surprise if it happens, because if it happens, you'll be surprised, and if it doesn't, you won't even be expecting it. So another thing that happened was my sister was pulling out of the driveway, and we also have kittens on our lawn because there's a whole bunch of pregnant cats in my neighborhood, and they just all end up in my general vicinity or vicinity. I don't know which one it is, so I'm going to say both, and you get the gist. So as we're having our sister pull out of the driveway and making sure there's no cats in the way or anything, these two girls are passing by. They go behind my sister's car coming out of the driveway, and then they like stop in front of our house, and they're staring at me and my mother, and I was like, come on, Mom, let's just go inside, because I'm from the hood, and I'm not gonna, there's certain things you question and there's certain things you don't. Like, you can question it mentally, but there's just no reason to say anything sometimes. So I said, we'll just go in the house, we'll lock the doors. And they're like, the one girl, it's a Spanish girl and a black girl, and the Spanish girl was like, hey, can you charge my phone? And I was like, because like there's no, like, for me and my family, there's no, especially me and my mother, like, we just can't help it. There's no, or we can't help you, or no habla inglés. Like, I was gonna say that, but then if she started speaking to me in Spanish, I would have been like, oh, no, me no speaky Spanish or English, like, and it would just, my cover would be blown. Plus, me and my mother genuinely want to help people. My MacBook just like, it literally just went to the home screen. How's it going to do that while I'm recording? So it's just not in our DNA. It's not. Like, literally, if somebody was walking next to me and was like, hey, I'm going to kill you, and I'll be like, hey, why? Why are you going to do that? So, I just want to help. We just want to help. And I just, like, immediately when somebody needs help, I just put myself, like, if I were in their position, I would want somebody to help me. So even though it was an odd request, and that's literally that is how Dateline or like ID channel shows start. And I was ready when they were talking to me. I was like, this is the end. This is my ID special. This is like, she was an up and coming comedian. All she wanted to do was make people laugh. Like, I already envisioned the storyline of my downfall because of what was going on already. So they were like, oh, can we charge our phones? And I was like, I guess we'll just take it in the house. And then my mom was like, no, we have the plugs outside for like the Christmas ornaments and stuff like that we put outside. So I was thinking already in my head, like, I should just probably have a butter knife or my mace. And honestly, like, a butter knife, not that I was going to use it, but just for myself, if they were going to try to choke me out or something. I don't know what to expect. Like, in my neighborhood, it's like a game of Russian roulette. You never know what's going on. So I was like, yeah, let me just put a butter knife in my pocket. But a butter knife is literally like, that's why they call it a butter knife. It is made for butter. Nothing else. Literally, a spoon would probably be more beneficial if I was going to try to, defend myself. So I was like, where's my mace? And of course, I don't know where my mace is. So that's a great place for my mace to be lost. So, yeah, so that happened. And they were charging their phone. And then the Spanish girl was like, yeah, we're sisters. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Like, I wasn't thinking you weren't. I said, that's beautiful. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, all right. And then she came, like, they were very, like anxious and, like, angry. And the Spanish girl, she was on the phone, and she's like, yo, how you gonna do that? Like, her bag's in your car, bruh. Like, how you gonna do that shit? Like, what the fuck? How you gonna do that? And then he hung up, and, like, we were like, oh, what happened? Like, is everything all right? And she's like, no, like, this guy just dropped us off at the gas station. And, like, that's crazy because she pregnant. And apparently the other girl was pregnant. And like now they're yelling at each other on the phone. This guy, whose name is Veli, yelling at each other over the phone. And she was like, she was like, I'm just trying to remember like the exact, order of all of this, because it was just so many shenanigans happening. And then, yeah, so she's on the phone. She's like, yo, like, give her her bag. Give her her bag. And then, he was like, blah, 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 because I know what he was saying, because you just hear like very, she had him on speaker for a minute and then took it off. And she was like, yo, what's the address? And I'm like, oh, no. Tell Veli to go to the gas station and you pick up the bag there. I'm not having him, Veli, come to my house to know where I live. And I said, go to the gas station. And then she sends the pregnant girl by herself to get the bag. I said, isn't she pregnant? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, but, why don't you? She was like, hold her phones. I'm going to go with her. After the pregnant girl already disappeared into, the distance. And she was like, hold our phones. And I'm like, no, take your phones with you. God forbid an emergency. And I don't want Veli chasing you back to my house. And she's like, yeah, because this is crazy. Like, we from Newark. And I was like, I just wonder, how did they end up here? What were they doing? Who is Veli? I had many questions. And then she took her phone, whatever. And then they went. And then my mom was like, oh, give us your number just in case something happens. You can call us if you need help. And we went back in the house. We locked the doors. And then I told my mom, I said, they're coming back for sure. Like, they're coming back. I just know it. And she comes back without her friend first. And she's like, that's him. Like, she came back, and this guy, Veli, apparently flew by our street. And she was like, and he still didn't give her fucking bag. And I was like, and then she was like, Veli, stop playing, bruh. Veli, I'm serious, Veli. Don't do that. I know where you live. I'm gonna call the police on you, Veli. I'm not even kidding, bruh. Give her friggin' bag. Give her her bag. And I was just like, And she's like, and also the pregnant woman's missing at this time. She's nowhere to be found. And I said, where's the pregnant girl? Where's her sister? And then she was like, I don't know. And then she starts screaming, Veli. And then she's saying Veli, and she's also yelling the N-word. And I was like, girl, if you're going to be saying that, which I don't approve of, and especially in this political climate, like, you got to get at least 30 feet away from me, because that's the last thing I need is for somebody in my neighborhood thinking I said it. My white self said it. I don't play that. So, I mean, I told her, I said, you're going to have to get at least like a good 30 feet radius away from here if you're going to start yelling that. Because she's just screaming it, because apparently the sister didn't get her bag back. She said, Veli. I don't want nothing to do with Veli either. Nothing to do with him. And, I said, I think not. Yelling that expletive on my lawn with me and my mother. So, but I texted her, like, and then long story, not even long story short, because I've been talking about this for 15 minutes or whatever. But yeah, so she was screaming the expletives, and I told her, just, I don't want you saying that on my lawn, because I don't need somebody coming out of the woodwork and thinking it's me. And it just wouldn't have been an ideal situation, because that would be my luck. The Spanish girl would just dissipate into like the ether, and then me and my mother be standing there like holding the bag, So, and not her purse, by the way, just holding the proverbial bag of somebody thinking we said that. So he flew by, and apparently the pregnant girl was with him getting the bag. And then she called me on a 3-way with her Uber driver asking me what the address was, not from my house, but she was a few houses down. And they got their Uber back to Newark. And she's alive and well, and her sister's alive and well. But what a shenanigan, and it just, stuff like this just happens. It just happens. But I'm happy I didn't get to meet Veli. I didn't want to meet Veli. I want nothing to do with Veli. And I'm happy that they're home safe. But, yeah, that happened. And then the debate was going on in the background. And I was literally, like, slapping my TV because I thought The Fly was on my television. And it wasn't. So. And there was, I guess that literally is pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I think I have one more thing. Yeah, I was on social media and I saw Jeff Bezos. He looks like he's in like a Iron Man kind of suit, like not the Iron Man where he puts his hands down and he flies around, the Iron Man where he's like the buff Iron Man. And Jeff Bezos has these, they look like little metal, it's like a little metal, not ecosystem, little metal infrastructure around his arms. Like a thimble, not for your thumb, but for your arms, but not a thimble. Like pipes, but not pipes, just like metal. It looked like the drain for your sink over his hands, but not like that, less metal. And as he was moving those metal contraptions on his arms, he was moving these really large set of arms. If that makes sense. Like, it was literally his little metal things on his arms, and then there were like big Hulk arms, like a machine that had big arms, and he was moving it. When he was moving his small arms, it was moving the big arms. And that just made me think, like, Jeff Bezos could become like the modern day Transformer. And imagine that. Like, I think if if anybody's going to do it and become a modern day Transformer, it will be Jeff Bezos. And just imagine him wreaking havoc in a robotic suit. I just think that would be like a great idea for a movie. And when it happens and I don't get paid for it, you'll know that I said it here on this podcast. Because, you know, if you like the guy or not, it's an interesting concept. And I just wonder what he would do with all that power. What you gonna do with all that power? There's a song that goes like that, but it doesn't go like that. You know, I thought it in my head and I thought it would sound better, but I don't know the beat or anything of it. So it sounded like that. But I just think that would be a very interesting concept. Jeff Bezotron. Jay Bezotron. Justin Bieber. I think I've held you hostage for long enough. So I will let you go. Goodbye. Farewell. Na, 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 na. That's all, folks. Little Porky Pig at the end. And I'm Porky Pig. That's all, folks. Sounds something like that. I never know how to end it. So maybe, you know, instead of just ending it right now, I'll just, thank you. I want to thank all of you who listen. I appreciate it. My numbers went up a little bit because I haven't had an episode up, so it just means that people are catching up and people are still listening even though I haven't been posting anything, and that means the world to me. Like I said, this podcast is my baby, and that people care about this and care to hear about the nonsense that happens in my life really makes me genuinely happy that people care about my art and my life. So it really means the world to me. I know I say stuff like that all the time, and it's probably like, can you shut up? You know, it's like, it falls on deaf ears maybe sometimes, but And I'm not assuming that, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you most of the time, and me. So I'm probably making an ass of myself. But just really thank you. If you listen to 5 minutes, you listen to all of it. It means the world to me. Literally, if just one person listens and they smile, that's what it's worth for me. That's why I do it. And I love you. And if you don't feel that, just know I love you. Dr. Drew. Dr. Phil. It's literally, it's 5 a.m. right now. And I always promise myself it's never going to get to this point, and it does. And that's the same thing I said with credit cards. And I said, I'll never get a credit card. It destroys lives, destroys families. And your girl has credit card debt. Well, that's my truth. I'm not going to lie. You may think, wow, she's on Instagram, she's just living her debt-free life. I'm not. I have credit card debt from vacations, but I'm paying that off, and I'm doing very well. I'm almost done, which is great. Not a lot. And then student loans, it's like a 1-2 punch, but I'm hoping I just pay a little bit, as much as I can. No, not as much as I can. I've honestly been paying the full amount, that I should be paying, but something makes me wish I would have went to school in like my 70s, and then I just die and don't pay it. But I mean, maybe 90s, because I want to. Do you want to live forever? I want to live a really long time, so I'm not going to say 70s. But yeah, I think that's an awesome concept, though, like dying before paying your student loan debt. Not somebody dying, but I mean, like, if I were to be 105 years old and I die before I pay my student debt, that's awesome. That's like me going out, like, into the horizon, like on a motorcycle with like flames behind the motorcycle. Not representing hell, but just representing, like, that's awesome. That she friggin' rode into the sunset at the end of her life with tens of thousands of student debt not paid. And that rocks. So, you know what? I'm going to let you go now. That was my little spiel. And if I just sit here and I keep doing this, I'll be talking all night or fall asleep on my keyboard. So I don't want to do either one of those. I can talk forever, but I could talk for days. Like, God really gave me lungs that aren't good for running, but lungs that are good for speaking. Because I can do this forever. I can literally, if I had like the inkling that a wall was interested in talking to me, I would be just talking to a wall. All right. Well, I'm going to leave now, because the more I say, it just makes me look more crazy. So, you know what? I'm going to leave now. I'm going to head out. It's 5:05. Like I said, peace and love always. Get your money. Hide your kids, hide your wife. And have a great night. Or morning. Whenever you listen to this. And if you're British and you're listening to this, I hope you really accomplish every dream that you have in your head. I hope you have the best life. You're living your best life out there, wherever you are. And if I could, I would hug you. Not during this time, but I would anyway. But if I could meet you and hug you, I would. So if you're British and you're listening, Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Goodbye in British. Let's see. Oh, cheerio. See ya. Take care. Get you later. Have a good one. Take it easy. Ta-ta. I guess they don't have any, like, certain, goodbye. Like, ta-ra, there we are. So, if you're listening, and you're British. I love you.